The next day, Yu Makamura sat waiting for transport to Tokyo Jujutsu High. Given the after effects of cursed energy corroding her in body and soul, as well as the severity of her external wounds, it had been determined that Dr. Werry should treat her. Doctors capable of the same level of treatment in Kyoto hadn't been available. There wasn't supposed to have been any rescue, so Yu should have died. She had only been an external collaborator, and there was no need to reinstate her. To the contrary, she was a dangerous individual who had acted foolishly and was thus unnecessary. She wasn't a sorcerer, which made her expendable. Nonetheless, she was treated with warmth and compassion. After receiving emergency care, she waited in the infirmary at Kyoto Jujutsu High. The window looked out on a beautiful autumn sky. Billows of clouds drifted by lazily. It was refreshing weather, in contrast to the feelings in Yu's heart. She used one hand to open the window in hopes that contact with the outside air would make her feel better. Immediately, a gentle breeze brushed her cheeks, and a witch drifted down on a broom. "Hi, seems you can walk again," Nishimiya said. As Yu looked up at Nishimiya sitting sideways on her broom, she grasped the space where her arm used to be. "They used a curse technique to stop the bleeding, so it doesn't hurt anymore," Yu said. "We reclaimed the arm," Nishimiya said. "If the stitches work out, it should stick back on. A doctor who knows reverse curse technique is going to be taking care of you, and your prognosis is good. I'm glad." "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused." "Yeah, that was some trouble." Nishimiya was blunt about it, but her tone of voice didn't suggest that she was criticizing the girl. Nishimiya's status as a third year and a sorcerer was evidenced by the way that she smiled exasperatedly, as one might at a small, mischievous child, and Yu's mood brightened. "I have a message from Mai," Nishimiya continued. "She wants you to learn from this and stop following her around. She doesn't want to see your face. So next time you get into trouble, you're on your own to die all you want." "Mai's so sweet," Yu said. "You really think so? After that message?" "Yep." "Okay," Nishimiya responded. If you could interpret those words in such a positive way, it must mean she really did care for Mai, even though her actions had been careless. Nishimiya understood that. She couldn't bring herself to be too hard on the girl. You may have been an incompetent ally, but she was an ally nonetheless. "You have a good life, okay?" Nishimiya said. "Otherwise, there was no point in us exercising that curse, right?" "Yep." "Aw, don't cry. If your eyes puff up anymore, it'll totally ruin your cute face." Nishimiya handed Yu a handkerchief edged with lace, then rose high in the air. She caught the autumn breeze and flew her broom in a broad arc. A little bird that looked like it was wearing a necktie flew alongside her. Nishimiya looked at it strangely, wondering what it was doing. Flying at the height of the leaves on the trees, she lightly zipped over the tiled roofs. Upon seeing a figure standing at the entrance to the schoolhouse, Nishimiya dipped to a lower altitude. "Yo, taxi!" a voice called out. "Fine," Nishimiya replied. "The meter starts at 800 yen. A bit pricey, don't you think?" Mai hopped on the broom behind Nishimiya. The broom didn't bear the double load easily, but they didn't have any trouble slowly cruising over to the dorm. Nishimiya upped the altitude a little despite her passenger. The sky was better for a quiet chat than the school's halls. "Momo, your pigtails are getting in my face." "Yeah, but I like my hair this way. Don't use them as handlebars like before." Okay. Where's Kasumi?" "She's trying to ingratiate herself with Tanabe since he used to think highly of her." "We should do something to make it up to her later." Their conversation was peaceful, like gentle drops of rain. They were flying high enough that they could see far, and Mai was looking into the distance. A black car rolled up to the entrance of the school grounds, and a human figure climbed inside. They couldn't see the person's face, but she walked with a firm gait. "You really didn't want to see her face to face?" Nishimiya asked. "No," Mai replied. Nishimiya didn't pursue it any further, and Mai didn't offer any further comment. Mai had done what she said she'd do to save a life. No one would praise her, and it wouldn't raise her standing as a sorcerer. She had acted on her own decision and expelled a cursed spirit without anyone asking her to. The Zenin clan might reprove her. They might be harder on her than ever. Nonetheless, she had been unable to ignore her desire to act. As usual, she felt like she couldn't breathe. And as usual, she was disgusted with it all. In her heart, however, she was relieved. If you take a hard look at where you are, then change your perspective, the scenery just might brighten up. You can really see far from up here, Momo. Uh-huh. And the harder you try, the better the view. But it's hard work, isn't it? The world spread out before them, a wide and colorful landscape. No doubt some of those colors were muddy, but there was also beautiful colors among them. The world was cursed, but it also had sorcerers. All right, y'all. That was the final section in Mai's chapter. And it gave me the feels. It gave me the feels. This was a good way to wrap things up. My cold as always. Give her a message for me. I don't want to see her face. I think she probably approached Maki a lot the same way until the end. Hey, Dido, give Maki a message for me. I don't want to see her face. That's my through and through, for sure, for sure. Another thing that I thought was pretty interesting is it does seem that Shoko can reattach arms. Confirmed. Very interesting, very interesting. Where the hell is Angel's arm? I suppose maybe if you can't recover it, it can't be reattached. Or if Sukuna chomps on it, it can't be reattached. I don't really know the specifics there, but there do seem to be a reason that Angel does not have an arm. And that is not Shoko's fault. Another thing is it seems like either doctors at Kyoto weren't available or nobody can really do what Ieri does. Which makes me feel kind of bad for all the students at Kyoto, because if you don't have a school nurse that has RCT juice on that level, then coming back from missions might be extra brutal. Just one more reason I might sign up for Tokyo Jujutsu High instead of Kyoto. But this chapter showed us a lot about the Kyoto students. It showed us a lot about Mai Zenin. It even showed us the maturity of Momo as an upperclassman. I know there were several times throughout the chapter where it was like, oh, these girls are in different grades, but they hang out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but what Momo just did with you showed her maturity pretty blatantly to me. Momo's kind of the caretaker of the group. You know what I mean? Like, she really loves Mai. She's really looking out for Mai. She understands who Mai is and what one needs to do to care for her. Because I'm pretty sure Mai is not a simple person to care about. She's not an easy individual to get along with. Plus, she's mean. So props to Momo. Momo deserves the world. I say that, and then I think about the situation we're in the manga, and I'm like, where's Momo? And then there was the little bird. It makes me wonder, like, why include the bird, you know? Like, was Mei Mei keeping an eye on this situation? Like, is that what was going on here? Is Mei Mei like, oh, okay, cool, everything's handled now. I guess I don't have to send Wee Wee to extract them or anything. The bird is cool. It's also kind of, if it was Mei Mei, that kind of gives me this, like, aw, big sister from Tokyo looking out for him. That's kind of sweet. A couple of character points to Mei Mei, I suppose. But that's going to wrap up this chapter. The next chapter is the last chapter in the second light novel. And it is called At the End of the Sidewalk. And y'all are in for a treat because we got the trio back. It is Nobara, Megami, and Yuji. So that'll be a perfect note to end on. So look forward to that, and I'll see y'all in the next one.